Going now.
I need a weapon. Let's do this.
Hey everyone, welcome to Generation Xbox podcast. This is episode number 263, our reactions to the Xbox and Bethesda showcase that just finished at E3 2021. I'm joined as always by Hayden and Steven. Guys, how we doing? A lot of stuff to talk about here, so we're going to jump right in. And guys, first impressions first. Steven, you were kind of the skeptic heading in. Just really initial impressions because we're going to dig into some games. But what were your first thoughts on after seeing the show?
Better than I expected, but also I don't think it was like amazing. Yeah, I definitely went in with zero expectations, so that was beat. Halo only being shown for like 3 minutes was a shock. I liked it. I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it was better than Xbox usually does, but I don't think it was like amazing. But I don't know what amazing is to me. I'm still trying to like think about this in my head. Hayden, what about you? What did you think about that?
I think the presentation of it and the pacing of it was bad. I think the announcements and the games quite good. I'm happy with what we got. I'm like coming into it, I wanted release dates and potentially gameplay for stuff coming like in the next year, right? It's like 2021 through 2022, and we got that overwhelmingly with Game Pass stuff as well. And then a couple of teasers of what we can expect further out, it's like Contraband and the Outworlds 2. And I know it isn't Xbox Game Studios, but Ayuden Chronicles of 100 Heroes as well, slated for 2023. So we get like a bit of an idea of what we're going to see post 2022. But like I've made a little list here of everything coming to Game Pass, like between now and like TBA 2022, I guess, for a lot of the stuff. And it's pretty packed. There's a lot to look forward to, whether it's like console exclusives, console launch exclusives, or just dropping on Game Pass on launch, like Back 4 Blood. There's a lot here. So, like, throughout, I was kind of doubting it, but now I can see the whole thing. I'm actually quite happy.
Yeah, I am too. I thought actually it was very well done. And compared to last summer, how they paced out the July 23rd event that they had, I thought this was paced significantly better. And they do jump all over and they just do game after game after game after game. And I know that can be jarring, but I feel like having the intros on stage to each game and setting everything up and doing all that, it will just waste a ton of time. And they did too much of that in the past. So I'm good with what they did here. Let's jump in, guys, because we've got up until we jump into Square in about
half an hour.
Yeah. So we're going to jump in and go game by game here. Let's start with Starfield. So Starfield got shown off first at the Xbox showcase, and we started the entire thing with Todd Howard on stage, kind of talking about the game a little bit, and then we got to see it. So everything we saw looked pretty cinematic. I don't think we really saw any gameplay, and then we did get a release date for next November. So initial thoughts, Starfield, guys, did it live up to expectations? Were you hoping to see more? What does that look like for you? Steve, let's go to you.
I'd like to see gameplay. I still don't know what this is going to be. Whether it's, Elder Scrolls or Fallout in space or what. But I did have a smile on my face when this was being shown. I liked the space aspect. I like you could tell that like there's some teases for what's to be expected, right? There's the weapon with the ammo shown. There's her helmet that has the bullet hole in it that says "Do not use." I think this is going to be Fallout in space, and you kind of explore different places instead of the different areas in wherever the game's set, Washington, Boston, or West Virginia or whatever, or California for the Obsidian ones. I think this is going to be like you explore different planets and you're fighting off aliens or monsters or whatever.
Right.
I'm excited, and November. Was it November 11th, 2022? I think it was 11/11.
Yeah, which is 11 years after Skyrim, exactly. because that was
Yeah,
November
yeah.
11, right? Late 2011. So
Yeah, so
that
it's exciting. I'm curious when they're gonna show gameplay. Are we not gonna see it until next E3? Or are we gonna see some at Gamescom or what? I just hope it
Well,
doesn't get
yeah.
delayed. But I'm excited.
Hayden, go ahead.
Yeah, I expect gameplay next year E3, which it's something to look forward to, and it seems pretty secure. If they're going for a date this early, they must be fairly confident in it. And yeah, I don't really know what to expect either gameplay wise. The only thing that I thought was a hint is the release date, like the 11/11/22. Like that to me screams like this is the next evolution of everything you know and love, right? Like I know it's reaching a bit, but also I think that has meaning to them.
Yeah, and
I
Bethesda's
think
been
that
a
has
little.
meaning to the
Yeah.
team.
Bethesda's been a little. They've had messages and things like that before. So, sure, I'm with you guys. I feel like it looks very promising. They said something in the trailer about how this was humanity's final journey or something like that. So I'm looking forward to hear more about just the story, to get some context of what we're going to be doing and what's sort of at stake here. I think the game looks very interesting. I think the game looks great. And
But what did we know from what we were shown?
yeah, we
Right,
don't really
that's the
know much.
big
We
issue
know
with that.
that it looks pretty. We know that it's real, which we knew before, and we know now when the target date is. We'll call it for launch. So there's a lot left to be shown. I think we could see Gamescom this year. We also have the presumed XO thing for Xbox in maybe November to celebrate Halo, the 20 years of Halo and 20 years of Xbox. So that very well could be something there as well. But, or, there's also the Game Awards in between where we could see something too. So, yeah, Starfield, I mean, there's not a lot to say, guys. It's sort of, we know it's real. We saw a little bit, and we still didn't learn a whole lot about what the game actually is. So, yeah. I mean, I think it was a cool way to kick off, though. Do you guys agree with that? Like, was it the right way to kick off the show? What do you
Yes.
think?
It was unexpected. Yeah,
It
it was a good way to kick it off.
It was
Mhm.
smart because of what we got. If it was
Yeah.
gameplay, like it would have been fine to end with, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
It was a CD. Like this would have kind of pissed everyone off if it was, the end of the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
I would agree.
as a front part of the show, I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. My list here. Trying to stay organized, everyone. Halo Infinite up next. And Steven, I got to tell you, you were right. I
That's
thought
right.
we were going to see extended Halo Infinite, footage here at E3, and we didn't. We saw pretty measured and controlled amount of Halo for what I expected from Microsoft. So it looks fun. We saw multiplayer, which I also didn't think we were going to see. So Hayden, we'll go to your first year. Halo Infinite, what we did see, which is a decent amount of multiplayer and not really anything for campaign. Thoughts on that? What'd you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to see the campaign again, or we got the vague cinematic trailer, but I'm glad that segued into something like actually meaningful with some multiplayer gameplay, because we assumed they'd save that for Gamescom, right? We didn't think that would happen here, so I'm happy we got it. And I don't know if they'd spoken about it being free to play before. I feel like I'd heard that before. Maybe it was just a rumor. I feel like I have
It's been
mentioned it.
rumored.
But I mean, either way, that's really cool because it means at least. Well, the thing is, with Halo, it was coming to Game Pass anyway, so it would have had a healthy player base anyway, right?
Mhm.
Like, regardless of whether it was free to play multiplayer or not. But it's cool for people who can't afford Game Pass. Like, everyone's going to get to play the next, the evolution of Halo, and that's really exciting.
It's a good introduction to Halo too for people that might be new to the series.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a low risk way to jump in and play. Steven, thoughts on, because they very much treated these as almost two separate entities at this point, the campaign and the multiplayer. So thoughts on multiplayer being free to play and just overall thoughts on what we saw.
I think free to play multiplayer is smart, especially considering the game's on Game Pass anyway. So as long as you're subscribed to Game Pass, you kind of get it for free. So I think Game Pass allows for the splitting of the game into two separate like entities, like you said, because I think you're right. It is kind of treated that way. I think the multiplayer looks awesome. I like the new stuff they've kind of added. Like if you're watching right now, you just saw him throw the grenade and get the sword like pushed to him, and then he picks it up and then slashes someone. Like that's awesome. Things like that, and using the grappling hook will help for fighting vehicles. And it looks like vehicles are brought back. I don't remember vehicles being in Halo 5 like normal Team Slayer. Halo 3 was one of the games that I originally like. Actually, it was the first multiplayer game I ever played online. And that game had a lot of vehicles, and that combat was kind of fun. So
that was in Big Team Battle, though, right?
no,
Like
no.
Was
You
it in
could
Slayer?
play in
Okay,
regular Slayer. You could have ghosts on a lot of the maps.
cool.
And some maps had tanks. But yeah, I think it looks really fun. I'm really excited to play this game.
Here's the question I have for you guys. Do you think this is the introduction of Halo as a live service?
Yes.
Because that's the first thing I thought when I saw them separate the campaign from the multiplayer and talk about a separate multiplayer release that's free for everyone that has an Xbox. So that it's now, or even on PC, that it's now a live service game where the campaign will be treated separately, but this multiplayer piece is something that's going to be supported over time. And Hayden, you said you agree. Like, what makes you agree? And then two, like, is it a concern for you?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard before, right? Like the talk of this being like the 10-year Halo, right? Like they've got a 10-year plan or whatever for the game. Now, whether that holds true or not, I don't know. That could just be Microsoft talk, that ends up being scrapped. I wouldn't be surprised. But then again, it has been what, like 6 years since Halo 5? Is that right? It's been a while. So
Halo 5 was 2015.
Yeah, so 6 years. So it does actually kind of line up that a 10-year plan wouldn't be that far out. Like, it sounds reasonable when you think it's really been 6 years since Halo 5. Yeah, I think it's definitely live service. I don't think I have a problem with that. I need to see what their monetization plan is. Like, if it's going to be like Battle Pass, I assume it will be like paid Battle Passes and stuff, which is fine. Like, I enjoy that in Warzone. I don't always buy them, but the free unlocks are fun. And when I do buy them, there are a lot of cool outfits and stuff to get. So, with everyone getting access to it for free and it being on Game Pass, you have to wonder how they're going to monetize it long term. And that stuff, I assume, is the way it'll go. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Steven, you have by far out of us played the most Halo multiplayer because you played a ton of like Halo 3 growing up, etc. And I probably didn't get into the multiplayer side more until some of 4 and then certainly into 5. So like do you feel like this is the beginning of Halo as a live service? And then sort of same questions to you as to Hayden, like, is it a concern?
Yes, I think it is the beginning of the live service. I don't have an issue with it though, because I think it allows you to do things with the multiplayer and not be locked into the campaign, and vice versa. So you could release maybe Halo 6, or this is Halo 6 technically. Actually, not technically. It's longer than that, but whatever.
It actually is, but yeah.
No, it's not, because the Halo Reach and ODST, if you count
that's
those,
right.
this
Yeah,
is like
good
Halo
call.
9. But then let's say the next Halo game, right? Like, you don't have to worry about developing the multiplayer because you're already developing the multiplayer for this, and you're kind of updating it and new maps and all that fun stuff. And you can always add map packs in as the new campaign gets released. I think this does kind of open up the gameplay a little more. And I think with our technology, the way it is with the new consoles and the way PC is right now, I think it's going to be less noticeable when like a few years down the line, 4 years, 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they release like a new multiplayer game or a new engine, or how they're going to do that, how they're planning on that working. But I'm not concerned, and I think this could be very fun for a long time. I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
with this.
I'm not concerned either. I know we'll probably start to see the introduction of microtransactions, and we did in 5 as well with Warzone and the card packs or whatever they were called, right?
Yeah.
So that existed there as well. But I just want to make sure. I would hope, and I think they know better, but I would hope they keep it so that there's no maps, etc., behind paywalls for people. Don't segment and splinter your player base.
Yeah, exactly. And talking of that, like I hope they have a good roadmap already for content post launch because like this could be really fun for a bit, and I'm sure like the Halo diehards will keep playing after that, but I know I won't, and I want something to keep me coming back, whether it's new maps or whatever that's going to be. I hope they have something like already planned.
Absolutely. So overall, though, I actually think they did quite well with Halo here. I think they showed it for the right amount of time. They showed the right things.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, it was actually very well done. So, kudos to Microsoft on that.
Yes.
Forza Horizon 5, guys, it's been rumored and it is quite real. And it looks
quite real. It looks very real.
Yeah. This game is absolutely stunning. We thought it was going to be the last thing shown. It turned out to be the second to last thing shown. But I'm having trouble right now, like coming up with the words to describe like how this game actually looks.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that trailer in like 4K because I mean it looked good in the blocky stream, so I need to go watch it.
Yeah.
Like it looked so gorgeous. It looks so real. Every shot we were all there like this looks like a real like image. Like what's that?
Well, it tricks us, and it's designed to do that because it looks so damn good. They showed like a landscape, and you're like, okay, that's a picture showing of what where it's going to be, and then here come the cars, and it's not cinematic; it's actual gameplay. So it transitions into actual gameplay. Steven, you were quite happy with the trailer, I think, as we were watching it. What stood out to you about the choice? It's going to be set in Mexico, so the landscape, and then just the overall look of the game.
Yeah, so I love snow driving. I do, and I'm gonna miss that. But other than that, I am not angry at all. I think Mexico is a beautiful location to set this game. There's a ton of variety, like with the deserts and then the rainforests and the cities and the beaches, all that fun stuff. It just looked phenomenal. I was so excited by just the cinematic like trailer and then the deep dive into gameplay. I cannot wait for November and to get my hands on this game. Like the scene with the volcano, which you're watching now, like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Just sitting at the top looking down at the lava. Oh, I can't. There's no words. I just can't wait till November. 5 months. 5 months away, boys.
I think that's the biggest surprise here. Like, this is so soon, and like it was rumored, but the fact they managed to keep it relatively under wraps, like this must have been in development for a long time. So, and like Fable was leaking all over the shop for years from Playground. So the fact that this managed to stay under wraps until fairly recently, it was a really nice surprise to have.
It was, and we did get a release date for it. We did not get one for Halo. We got a window holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So no set release date yet, but we did get one for this, and it's early November. So yeah, this just looks amazing. Are you guys bummed at all about? They didn't mention seasons returning, so that might be something that's going away. Is that something that is a bummer for you guys, or?
That doesn't really matter. It just confused me in 4 anyway, and like I might be the minority there, but it just really threw me off.
I like seasons because it gave each course, so to speak, like 4 different ways to play. It really kind of kept the game fresh and new.
Yeah, but there were certain seasons I preferred.
Sure.
And then certain ones just stressed me out because it was way harder, and I'm not that good at racing games anyway. Especially when like you can just bounce all over the place in Horizon, like there's not really a set course a lot of the time.
Right.
So when it gets like really thick snow and then just getting everywhere, and it's stressful. It's stressful.
So, Steven, how about you? I love the seasons dynamic. What were your thoughts on it? And I'm speaking about a past tense. It still might be there, but
like I said, I like driving in the snow, and I get sad for the 6 weeks that you don't get to drive in the snow every 8 weeks because it's a 2-week cycle, I think. But yeah, like I said, I'm not super angry about it because I think just if it doesn't come, because the trailer looked like it was all like spring or summer driving, and that's fine. I think the game looks absolutely gorgeous, and I think the locations are enough to differentiate without needing necessarily to change the weather, and I think part of the reason it worked in England was because everything kind of felt similar. You know, nothing really felt
Yeah.
too different. Whether
Yeah.
you were near the beach or whatever, up in the hilly mountain areas. Yeah. So, not worried about it.
Yeah, same here. And I think it would be hard to sell the idea of like a snowstorm in the jungle, right?
Right.
So sure, you know, though they might have a different way of doing it. And we'll see this year as we learn more about the game. The last thing we'll talk about with Horizon, guys, is the events that we saw. Some of them quite silly, right? We saw the pinatas, and then we saw the bowling inside the stadium. And it, you know, Hayden, it kind of made me think a little bit of some of the things that you see in like GTA 5, right? Some of the
Yeah.
weird, you know, racing stuff. So is that type of thing going to appeal to you in this, or do you like just more going around the landscape and exploring that way? Or
You know, I think I like both. I think the thing I enjoy least in Horizon is the races. I enjoy driving around the map and exploring and seeing like the really nice vistas you can find, like just the gorgeous landscapes. And you know, when you go to the landmarks, can't remember what they're called, but like you get there and it's just so rewarding because it just looks brilliant. And I know we're gonna get more of that here, so that's really exciting. And it'll actually be like you know, an interesting environment for me because it won't just be like home. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then like the crazy minigame party-esque stuff
Mhm.
that really appeals to me. Because like I say, like racers, I'm not that good at them. I sometimes feel like I can't really partake in that as much, especially when
Yeah.
like friends are way better. So that is a really good way to bring everyone together. And I mean that's what Forza Horizon is, right? Like it's a celebration, it's a festival, and it's exciting that they're finding loads of ways to bring everyone together.
Yeah, that's how Steven feels when he does the races with me.
Well, I do. I'm
So-
kind of with Hayden. Like, I don't love the
Yeah.
races as much as I love. Just
I'm with you
driving
guys.
around.
Yeah.
But I do love the what's it called, cross country races. Those are my favorites.
Yes.
And so I can't see why those wouldn't be here. And I think they should.
Imagine
will
a
be just
cross
as
country
fun.
race that goes like through the volcano. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be so cool.
I hope we get to drive through the lava like with something.
I was wondering that earlier. What happens if you just like blow up? Like what happens? Just
I don't
respawn?
know.
I don't know, but I'm gonna
I don't know.
sure as
Yeah,
heck find
find
out.
out.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out. So, yeah, my favorite thing to do in these games actually was in 4 anyway, was to go find like the hidden barn locations. You know,
Yeah.
I love just going around and messing around and doing that. I'd waste so much time doing that, but yeah, it's fun.
All right.
Okay, so the surprise at the end of the show, Phil Spencer came. We hadn't seen Phil for the entire time
Yeah, elusive.
of the
Phil
showcase, and then
Spencer.
yeah, and then he came out at the end and he kind of wrapped up, and then he gave us the one more thing, and it's from Bethesda and coming next summer 2022, Redfall, which looks like a co-op shooter experience where you're fighting off vampires. That's what we know so far. Steven, you mentioned during it had a little bit of a Left 4 Dead, Back for Blood type feel. What are your thoughts on Redfall? Like, it looks pretty fun.
I'm excited for this one. Obviously, I'm a huge Left 4 Dead fan. And this is the year we get like 700 different Left 4 Deads. We have Left 4 Dead, like spiritual successor in Back 4 Blood. But then we had Left 4 Dead Aliens at the Summer Games Fest, I think. Showed that one off, and then like this one here, and we saw Back 4 Blood during this showcase too. So I'm interested. I like the idea of fighting vampires, and I think there's going to be a lot of different stuff than just your typical like Left 4 Dead affair, based off of the ending to the trailer where like the vampire was like seen blotting out the sun, and then you're fighting humans on top of the vampires, and it seems like each character has their own abilities and skill sets. So again, a little different than Left 4 Dead, but that's okay. It's nice to see iteration. On features. I want to see gameplay of this, and hopefully we get it before. I imagine we'll get it before next E3 since the game comes out in the summer, but maybe we'll see it at next E3. But new game from Arcane Studios. I think it's Arcane Austin. I'm excited. Hayden, what about you?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think the big thing that's been overlooked in this session so far is that like this is open world. Like this isn't just like set levels. This is Arcane going crazy and creating a brand new IP for us with vampires, which is cool because vampires, they're awesome. So I'm pretty hyped. And the big thing I wanted here, like I've said before, was release dates, and we got like a rough time frame, summer 2022. Like this time next year, we might be playing Redfall, and that's really exciting to me.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted from Xbox. They've been buying studios. Like, what does that mean for us now? And now we're seeing it with Redfall. We're seeing it with Starfield. Through the next year or the next year and a half, it's starting to look really packed all of a sudden. And there's so much stuff they haven't even spoken about. So Redfall is just another one of the really exciting projects that I'm looking forward to gameplay for. I'm looking forward to seeing more. But I mean, this is Arcane. You can't really go wrong, right? Like people
Right.
love Arcane for a reason.
Yeah, this is going to be great, and I think it's the type of game that Xbox, didn't have before, right? It has shooter elements to it, sure, but I think it's got, some of that Bethesda-ish charm that we know and love, and it's something that they didn't have. It's not the serious competitive multiplayer shooter. It's something to do with your friends, and I think it's going to be really good. So, yeah, it was a nice surprise. A nice
I
surprise.
agree with you. Feel looter shooter.
Uh,
With the open world thing.
see, I
and
didn't
with
even-
some, like classes.
I didn't know it was open world. I missed that part,
Okay.
I guess. I could see that kind of being
Mhm.
the case, or definitely being able to like customize some of the abilities a little bit
Mhm.
more. And I bet
Mhm.
you those are not fixed yet. I think the one like the girl that is able to like create like an elevator and levitate and things like that, I think she's gonna have pretty much the same abilities, but we haven't really seen the abilities of the other three. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect, but if this is Xbox's like Borderlands, I'm in.
That would be pretty awesome. Guys, let's wrap by talking about Xbox's general Game Pass strategy. We know that Game Pass is, the core centerpiece of the Xbox strategy for this, what's now current generation, where they're trying to get people into the ecosystem. And, I think they care most about making sure you're signed up for Game Pass. But we've heard, and you said it earlier, about how they bought all these studios and we just haven't seen release dates. We haven't seen the product of that yet. I feel like today we really started to see that. And we saw that just the sheer number of games coming between now and the end of 2021. Like take 2022 out for a second.
Mhm.
2021 has a lot. So
Yeah,
they're not all
Game
big
Pass is
games.
looking really packed.
Yeah, it
that
looks-
makes me really happy.
So let's talk, guys, just a little bit about Xbox's strategy. Did they sort of deliver on that? And I had a feeling they would, because they started bringing up the one game every quarter. They did that here. It's at least one per month through the end of the year. Hayden, thoughts on that? Did they deliver there? Did they do enough in terms of new games that we're talking about to keep you saying, okay, I'm glad I bought an Xbox?
Through 21, yes. 22 is looking good. There was a lot of vague 2022, and if that's all holiday season, like again, it's going to be very bloated end of the year and a fairly sparse like first few months. But we need to see how that takes shape. But 2021 is looking really good. I mean, like I know it isn't a brand new game, but Sea of Thieves, Jack Sparrow, like Pirates of the Caribbean crossover. I think it's called A Pirate's Life is like a week away, right, or something like that. Not far.
It
off.
looks so much fun.
It looks
I
so
can't
much
wait.
fun. And then you get into July and we have like The Ascent. We've got Flight Sim, 12-minute Psychonauts 2, Hades in August, Back for Blood October, Forza Horizon 5 in November, and then obviously Halo Infinite, and then Shredders in December. There's a lot to look forward to through in 2021, where every month we're going to be coming back to our Xboxes to play something brand new. Whether it's Xbox Game Studios or a third party that have their game on Game Pass, like Back for Blood, and I believe Shredders. Like, regardless, it's something new to play, and it doesn't come out of my pocket. It came out of Microsoft, so that's fine, and I'm excited about that. It makes me happy.
Right, Steven, your thoughts on just the overall strategy? Because you were like the other two of us. You wanted to see some a roadmap, right? And I feel like we got that. Is
So-
it enough for you?
Okay. So first of all, Hayden, shut up about 2022. Second off, the rest of the year we have a first party game every month except for September. Not all coming to Xbox. Age of Empires 4 obviously is PC only, but that's the end of October. And we don't know technically when Halo Infinite releases. So if it's November, then December also doesn't have a game. But December almost, whatever. On average, there's one a month, or a little under one a month. Okay, and then we have a lot of games outside of Xbox first party studios coming to Game Pass the rest of the 2021's exciting. I've been brought over to the exciting portion of Xbox's show. I think I've been able to kind of wrap my head around what we've seen, and I'm excited for 2022. We saw a lot of stuff for then, and I'm really excited for next E3 for Xbox and to see what's going on in the future. Because I think
it's so funny to hear from you.
it is. I fully admit I think I was a little wrong. Going into this show, I did want to see more. Like I wanted to see like Avowed and Fable and stuff, but I know it's coming. I like what we saw today. I thought it was a good show, even if the pacing. I don't think the pacing was off. I think it was the order of like what they showed was kind of weird. But I'm excited.
So
I think we have a good plan for this year, a good look at what we're getting next year, and next year we'll see kind of what comes after in 2023, and we'll see like gameplay for Starfield, things like that. I think I think Xbox had a good show.
I reference it a lot when I talk about, how sometimes we'll get shown like a million things and it's a bit of a whirlwind. And I did sit there the early part of this showcase thinking, are they trying to episode 9 us a little bit here where everything's so fast and one after another that we're missing that it's not that good, right? But it actually was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it comes together and it's actually quite a strong show.
There's like not every game in there is going to be for everybody, and that's okay. And I'm sure there will be, influencers, quote unquote, that have a fit because the thing they had invented in their head wasn't shown today, right? But I feel like a roadmap was put out there by Xbox that addressed the issue that they didn't have things in genres that weren't shooters and weren't racers. So, Steven, you saw a JRPG today, right?
I did.
And the Sea of Thieves, and at first it was funny, like your reaction at the beginning of Sea of Thieves was, not excited, but then you saw what it was turning into, and all of a sudden you became quite excited. Like, I think they're making good choices about what type of content to have. The fact that, we got a decent amount of it that's like either that's coming out within the next couple of weeks even.
Yeah, I like the varied content. I got a little scared at first when we saw Stalker and then Back 4 Blood, but I didn't realize it was Back 4 Blood at first. I was like, oh my gosh, 2 horror this is last year all over again. And then how about
How about Back 4 Blood? How about Back 4 Blood coming to Game Pass? I mean, that's awesome.
saves me $60,
for a fan
$70.
like you, it saves you a bunch of money. Now you got the money to spend on Battlefield.
No, but that game. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I did like the gameplay of that. That looked crazy awesome.
Battlefield.
And then I was really happy when Hades got announced. I can't wait. I love that game on the Switch, but I like playing on my Xbox the most. Like I've said before, and achievements make Hades really exciting for me.
Hayden, what was the name of the game with the cute little animals?
Party Animals.
Party Animals, like that game looks fun too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were all kind of laughing at that while I was playing, like the type of laughing that's like, I want to play this. This looks fun. And in the span of the last 2 minutes, we've referenced Back 4 Blood, Hades, Battlefield, Party Animals, games from all pretty much different genres, right? That are coming to the Game Pass service.
Well, not Battlefield.
Well, not Battlefield. Sorry, not Battlefield. The rest. But don't worry, Xbox has plenty of shooters to keep you covered.
I was about to say we got all the shooters to be fair. So
yeah, so there's a lot there that maybe wasn't there in the past, and I feel like they're finally starting to get it out there. Like this is what owning an Xbox is going to look like, and I think they did quite well. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And like looking at 2022, a lot of the dates are a little bit vague, like just 2022. And the only thing that concerns me is that could mean delays. But you also have to think like Stalker 2 is April, Redfall summer, Starfield's November. I know Stalker 2 isn't like a full exclusive, it's a timed launch exclusive, but regardless, like, that's 3 really big, exciting games coming to Xbox next year, all of them coming to Game Pass. You really can't complain. They're finally like this showcase, I don't think did them justice because it feels like we've spoken before about how like PlayStation released a lot of like bigger games and a lot of exclusive titles, and this is kind of Xbox saying that they're going to compete with that. And we
Mhm.
have a lot coming this year, a lot coming next year. And whether it's like first party exclusives or Game Pass launches or timed exclusives, there's a lot to be happy about on Xbox moving forward.
Yes, and
Well,
we haven't even talked yet about the Outer World 2, which is a really
Yeah.
hilarious trailer. If you somehow
it's so
missed the
funny.
showcase,
Yeah.
you should watch that. It's kind of funny actually how that kind of made fun of Starfield when I'm sure they didn't see Starfield because they're two separate companies. It felt like it poked fun at things like that, and Starfield did exactly what Obsidian was making fun of. But Obsidian did it themselves too, so like, what are you gonna do? But we don't know when that's coming. I would guess 2023, 2024.
3 or 4, yeah. It's a ways off.
So we did get some stuff for the future, but they did focus on the next 2 years, and I think the next 2 years will be good finally for Xbox fans that want like exclusive games that you can't play anywhere else.
All right, so we got 4 minutes to square, guys. Go ahead. Hayden.
I'm real quick. I'm looking forward to next E3. Do you guys feel like we have a pretty good line of what to expect as well? Like, maybe we don't see Contraband
Yes.
in the Outer Worlds 2 there, but you can fairly safely say we'll probably see Forza Motorsport, Fable, Avowed, potentially Everwild, or I thought it was a bit further out, Perfect Dark. There's a lot for them to dive into, and we knew that wasn't coming like this year, but they've compensated for that.
And we're
with a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
Next year's E3 is looking real good.
Starting next year, we're going to be almost due for the initial teasers for Gear 6 too.
Yeah, and I think
So-
we're definitely seeing some form of Avowed or
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's crazy because now that the Outer Worlds 2 got announced, they're working on Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded at the same time. And it's not to say that Obsidian might not have 3 separate studios working on these 3 separate games, but I don't think they do. I think they're all one studio I think it's Irvine. So that's a lot of games for what I think is a smaller team. We'll see what comes out. What comes out first, the Outer Worlds 2 or Avowed?
Avowed, I bet.
Avowed.
I hope
Yeah,
it's Avowed, but yeah. I mean, I guess it just depends which teams are working on what, but yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up quick. We got 3 minutes. Let's score the show, guys. So out of 10, what are you rating the Xbox and Bethesda showcase?
Not me
You wanna take it
first.
first? Or
No,
me first?
I'm
Okay,
always
I'm
first.
gonna go with a solid. What did I give Ubisoft? Like 8.5, 8.7. So I'm gonna go Xbox. I think they deserve a 9 because
Wow,
we got
okay.
some genuine surprises like Redfall, right? And like we have a lot to look forward to. And the important part is a lot of it is free for me because I have Game Pass through to 2023.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. I'm gonna give them a 9.
All right, so I'll go next to you. And I'll leave you for last. I gave Ubisoft an 8, and I'm gonna also give Xbox and Bethesda a 9. I think they showed the right amount of the right things. Forza Horizon 5 absolutely blew me away. Like that game looks.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
amazing.
missed that one out of Mike. Yeah,
And-
that's a surprise too.
So, and then to see the new games announced, and I'm super impressed. Steven?
All right, if you would asked me at the beginning of the show, I probably would have given it like a mid 8, maybe a low 8. But as I was thinking and finally like being able to wrap my head around it, the score kept going up and up and up and up, and I think I beat both of you. I'm giving it a 9.3. I thought they did a
Wow.
very good job, and they didn't do the typical Xbox thing where they're like, one, they didn't overhype this show. 2, they didn't. They just showed games. Like they didn't come out and do their little speech. Like Todd Howard, P. Ines, and Phil Spencer maybe they definitely talked combined less than the Forza guy. And the Forza guy only talked long because he was explaining what the new stuff into Forza was. And that game looked absolutely gorgeous, and it was the perfect deep dive game. I complained about it at first, and then I realized, I was wrong. I'm stupid. Shut up, Steven. It was good. So yeah, I think it was a 9.3.
Wow.
I know.
And I know we'll get accused of being Xbox fanboys here, but Xbox really did a good job today. And one thing they did really well at before we get out of here is they didn't leak. Not a lot of things leaked here.
No, I'm surprised Redfall didn't.
Yeah, Redfall was a complete surprise. Forza Horizon 5, like everybody kind of suspected it was happening, but it was nothing official. And man, how good it looks, stayed a secret. So, All right, guys. That is going to do it for our Xbox coverage. One more on this, by the way, in our end of week wrap up. We'll talk more Xbox, but we're going to get ready to watch Square right now. And thanks on YouTube for joining us. If you haven't yet, subscribe and like the video /stream. We'd really appreciate that. And like I said, subscribe. And if you're listening to the podcast, if you're new to us, welcome. Make sure you follow us on iTunes so you never miss an episode. And head on over to GenerationXbox.com for all the E3 coverage. We have a lot of it. We'll have a lot more. So thanks again for joining us. For Hayden and Steven, I'm Tyler. We'll be back later with Square Enix reactions. But until then, have a great E3, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.